Okay, so we had to move from outside to inside. So, do I have to give the intro again? Is it worth it, or should we just jump into where we were left off? Forget it. Let's act like we just taking it from the top. Let's just take it from the top. Let's just let everything be everything. Um, Welcome to. I think we got to put a new name to this. Should we put a new name to this? Because this is like, although the Hooga is where your heart is, this is a different space. You feel me? The vibe is a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? So should we rename this? What should we? Can we come together and come up with a name for this? What's a good name for this? What's a good name for this show? But I feel like it's got like a staticky vibe. Yep. Yep. Yeah, this is irritating me for sure. Ah. Yo, yo. Nah, that shit's still there. That shit's still there, twin. Yo. All right, forget it. We gonna rock with it. Um, can we come up with a name for the show? Is it possible for us to come up with a name for this? What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good? What's good? Refound. Refound. That's not bad. That's not bad, but we can be a little more creative though. Refound isn't bad. Can we do just can we just do heart dumps with Maciano? Heart dumps. Heart dumps with Maciano. By the way, shout out to Handsome Squidward just joined. Shout out to Handsome Squidward. But heart dumps with Maciano. Heart dumps. Okay, let's do it. Let's start. So first off, let me say this because I see one of my amazing community members just joined. Something that I just recently did was I put into the Patreon group chat for everybody to cancel their memberships because I've had a lot of up and down emotions for a while now. A lot of up and down emotions. I've been going through it a lot in 2025. 2025 has started off very, very rough for me. And something that I have not been doing is creating content. You feel me? I just have not been creating content. I just have not been, active in that regard. Um, I need to be better at that. So I put into the Patreon group chat that everybody should cancel their membership because I don't know how much I'm gonna be showing up. And a lot of people did, but a lot of people didn't. A lot of people did, but a lot of people didn't. Um, you see, they say that they with me till the wheels fall off. See, that's love. In my opinion, that's love. In my opinion, if you were to ask me to define love, this is what I'm gonna say: unconditional, right until the wheels fall off, right, wrong, or dead ass wrong. Anything outside of that, I would not define as love. Now, I do think that there are dynamics where you could have very strong emotions towards somebody, but it ain't love if you ain't riding right or wrong. My opinion, personally. You feel me? Like growing up, I used to get in trouble. Peep this, right? 'Cause I don't think anybody will really like think that I'm from the trenches, but I'm from the trenches. I just don't carry it and I just don't wear it on my sleeve and I just don't harp about it. But a rule from where I was from was that, like, let's say you with your brother, right? This happened with my big brother, actually. I got in really big trouble one day because I was with my big brother. He got in a fight. Didn't get his ass beat or anything like that, but he got into a fight. I think his lip was bleeding or something like that. Me and him both walked into the crib together, and my dad was upset at me because I wasn't bleeding at all. And that symbolized that you ride with your brother, right or wrong or dead ass wrong. You feel me? If you go out anywhere with your brother and somebody put their hands on your brother, they better have put their motherfucking hands on you too. Your brother should have not been out there fighting by himself. You better be riding with your brother, right, wrong, or dead ass wrong. And in my opinion, the way I look at it is that shit. Well, what if my brother started the fight? What if my brother was in the wrong? Let's simplify it. An argument. What if my brother is the person wrong in the argument? If we correcting each other and it's like a growth situation, absolutely. But at the end of the day, the type of love that I was raised on is right, wrong, or dead ass wrong, you ride. So people who gonna be around me and in close proximity to me, like I be on some real shit. Like I got people around me who I know for sure ain't riding. But close proximity, nayball. That's a very, very small, minute group of people who I know is riding right, wrong, or dead ass wrong. But that's trench shit though. And I don't wear that on my sleeve. I don't pop it like that. But like that's actually, something that's ingrained in my psyche for real, for real. And I think that's why I stick around with people longer than I should. I think I stick around people longer than I should. I think I fight for things that's not fighting for me because in my psyche, you ride right, wrong, or dead ass wrong if you use that love word. If you use that love word, you with them, period. Welcome. Welcome to Heart Dumps with Maciano. That feels good. That felt smooth. Welcome to Heart Dumps with Maciano. So, something that we spoke about outside. I'm gonna do a little reiteration because I feel like I'm gonna review this content. I'm gonna go to edit it, and then the content that I shot outside is gonna be terrible because of the audio. So I'm gonna do a little reiteration of what I said outside. So essentially, um, I took a long, long break, and my little brother called me, and he called me, and he had a lot of things to get off of his heart. And one of the things is that he was going through my YouTube page, and he seen that I was about like 5,000 subscribers or so away from getting a plaque, like where they send the plaque to your crib. Now, me personally, I'm not accolade chasing. I'm not trophy chasing. I don't need no gold medal or anything like that to do my thing. But basically, the point that he was trying to get at was that I'm stopping with my gift and I'm not following through with my gift. And all of the best things are literally right at my fingertips if I just keep on going. And he was just pouring into me, just saying about how, like, I've never been the type of person to hide. I've never been the type of person to go ghost. I've never been the type of person to just duck off and not be confident and be soft spoken. Like, I've never been that type of person. But that's the type of person that I'm being today. Right. And he was basically just calling me, encouraging me, and telling me to get out of that rut that I'm in. And my response to him was like, a lot of times emotionally, when I'm hurt, I have an inability to show up for myself. When I'm hurt, I have an inability to show up for myself. I'm talking about somebody who, if I'm not hurt, I'm waking up at literally, like, my schedule is I wake up at 5:20, 5:25 to do, like, some journaling and read the Bible and stuff like that before I get out of bed. Then I hit the gym at 6:30. And then from 8 to about 5 p.m., I'm a straight businessman. And then from 5 p.m. to about 10 p.m., I'm learning and I'm having thoughtful conversations and I'm doing things, and I'm back in the bed about like 10:30, and I repeat that every single day. But if my feelings are ever hurt, if I'm ever in an emotional state, if I'm ever going through something, I will sit in the bed and cry all day. I will not eat all day. I will not go outdoors. I actually just went through something that was so tough that I stayed in the crib for 3 weeks, and then the day that I chose to go out and do something, I almost threw up as soon as I walked out the threshold of my house, because that's how my emotions get me when they get hurt. And I expressed that to my little brother, and something that he said was that, bro, at the end of the day, everybody's life is hard and you still got to keep going. You still got to pick up your cross and you got to keep going. So that's actually what inspired this live tonight. This was also a sad day. Today was actually still a sad day. Today was actually still a day where I'm battling what I'm battling. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go through a lot of things. We're all going to go through a lot of things, but we cannot use that as an excuse to not pick up our cross and go. So that's what inspired the live. Um, and I'm here, and I'm showing up as somebody who is genuinely a trying man of God. I'm trying, and I'm learning so much. And I've gotten to a point where I'm sitting here reading the Bible, and I'm reading, like, and I'm like getting it. I'm like, yo, like, because in my opinion, I feel like a lot of the times when other people read the Bible, and even myself as well, when we read the Bible, it's like we got to do a little bit more research to understand what we just read, because sometimes it's confusing. You don't know where it was at. You don't know the context. You just open it up and you reading it, and you hoping that you get something from it, and it tells you something that feels good. But that's not what the Bible is. And that's not what faith is. You got to read this, and you got to take every single thing that comes out of this book and apply it and see it as truth. And I'm reading the Bible. I'm reading through Matthew, like the past couple chapters, the most confusing parables, that I've read before. I'm reading it again, and I'm like, yo, like, I get it. Like, I see what's happening. Like, I understand what's happening. Like, I'm getting the context, but it took me 25 chapters to get to my favorite story. Like, for instance, right? Like, my favorite, anybody who knows me, they know that my favorite parable in the Bible is the parable of talents, right? My favorite parable is the parable of talents. Before I start even believing in Christ, before I start being somebody who's going to church, before I start calling myself a trying man of God, the one story that I knew out of the Bible was the parable of talents, and that is Matthew 25. I opened up Matthew and started reading Matthew from the beginning about like a month ago, and I didn't understand anything in Matthew, what was going on, where they were at, nothing for like the first 15 chapters. The first 15 chapters. I'm talking about journal entries where it's just me saying what's on my brain, not anything that I picked up from the book. But I kept reading and I kept reading and I kept reading. And then I'm getting to 20 to like 25. And I'm like, oh, I get it. Like I understand. Like I'm seeing what's happening. I'm seeing that the Pharisees is actually trying to go press Jesus and question Jesus and see who Jesus' teacher is. And Jesus is responding saying, I am the Son of God. Like everything that is about me is coming from God himself. Who is your teacher? Why aren't you following what the scriptures say? Why aren't you going about what the prophecies say? Then he's going into forecasting what the end of the world will be. He's forecasting what life will be like after his death. He's out here telling people like, yeah, you feel me? It's going to be a lot of false prophets. It's going to be a lot of people who's going to show up and say that they're Jesus Christ, but they're not. You've witnessed who Jesus Christ is. And then I come across the parable of talents and I'm like, oh, this is just a story of him just giving game. This ain't what the Bible is about. This ain't what Matthew was about. This is just a little itty bitty teaching of this amazing work that the Lord did in this account. So it's like I be reading the Bible and then I be looking at the story specifically and then I make sure that it's spiritual. I make sure that I pull out what needs to be pulled out. But then I just look at what the process of going to God is and the type of things that I learn by just going to God and just trying with God and allowing God to lead me and have his will take over my life. And it's like that process showed me the process in which I need to follow for life. Is why quit right before you get to the part where you get it. 24 chapters of misunderstanding. And then I got to the part that I've always put above anything else. I can get in my, I can really. Welcome to Heart Dumps with Macy G. I want to make sure to show love to everybody. So everybody who's in the chat, drop what city you in, drop, just kind of like what's been going on in your life. I know I haven't been on here for a while. Usually I keep up with everybody and I kind of know what's going on, but just send me something. Send me something in the comment section. Let me talk to you. Let me say what's up. What's up, Tyria? Okay, shout out to Detroit. Shout out to Detroit. Yeah, man. I just been away. I've been away, you feel me? And I've just been trying to, work on myself. And I'm not going to lie, like this process of me working on myself has been very, very hard. But I'm trying for sure. Sue from the Bay. Okay. Lamaria. It is. And it sounds like new and fresh revelation that God gave him. I'm trying. I'm really, really trying. I'm just more so just not putting this thought on my heart as if I'm a worse person than I am. You know what I'm saying? But yes. So we here. So something that I wanted to do tonight specifically is that I wanted to read a little bit of what this journal was. So I got a journal front to back. Every single page is lit. You know what I'm saying? And I got a lot of stuff in here. I'm gonna just kind of flip through it. I'm gonna just kind of read what my crazy brain was doing at certain times in the year. And yeah, I got a page right here that says date ideas. Okay. Stupid kid. Just stupid. Just why? Like, just dumb. Okay. Okay, so this one here says something that I wrote was that this is titled Humility. Okay, this is the title of it. I wrote this on the 22nd of September. It says your life will be radically changed when you no longer are the one calling the shots. Dear Lord, tell me how to live, and I'll respond and do it with delight. Yeah. It says Philippians 3:8. It says, this is not what it says, but this is what I wrote. It says, in the day of temptation, be obedient to Christ because he is our Lord. Whoever we follow is our leader. So that's actually deep because a big theme of like, I would say like the end of like summer That was like kind of like being at the end of like the summer, a thing that was being a big revelation for me was that idolatry is actually more real than we actually think. Like idolatry is real. Idolatry is something that only the naive believe cannot take hold in their heart. I actually had to change my screensaver today, and it literally says right here. Hold on, wait, don't mind the text message. It says, "Read the Bible so every idol has no home in your heart. Renewal, you can do it." Because I honestly had no idea that I can put people above God. That's what idolatry is. I had no idea that that was something that I was capable of. Loving a person more than I love God. Do y'all know how sick that is? Let's really talk about it. Let's be human. Let's be human. Let's not get on here and cap. You feel me? Let's not get on here and present ourselves as if we're something that we're not. I had absolutely no idea that idolatry was real until I experienced it. Until I had idols. Until I loved people more than I loved God. I had absolutely no idea that it was real. And I realized it was real because what I did not understand is that a big theme in the Bible is that they always say like build things, plant things like on like solid rock, like not sand. Like it needs to be planted in solid rock. Like that needs to be the foundation. But at the end of the day, idolatry is planting yourself and giving someone a place in your heart when there is a large possibility, almost a definite thing that they are going to leave. And now all of your belief, all of your faith, all of who you are is embedded in that person. Your identity is attached to that person. And then they leave. Then they walk out. Or they just make a decision for themselves. Or they just live their life. But you're so deeply rooted to them that it knocks you completely off your path. You don't even know your mission. You don't even know yourself. And that's proof that idolatry is real when you love someone, you love something, you worship someone or something more than you worship God. So don't be naive, you feel me, and think that these things that's taught in this book are beneath you. Like they're not. Pick up your cross for real, for real. Like pick up your cross, read, do the research, understand what type of temptations and what type of things in this world is out to get you. Understand the different forms and the different shapes that the devil will present himself as in your life. For real, for real. Like go and look at it for real because it's there. It's really, really there. An amazing analogy. I forget the lady's name. She was a counselor on Last Chance U. I really forget her name. I think her name was like Dr. Wagner or something like that. And she gave an amazing analogy. Something that she said was, let's say that the opposite school that y'all play on Saturday, they come over here, walk into the room and say, hey, here's our playbook. These are every single play that we're about to run this weekend against y'all in the order that we're going to run them. And then the team who gets presented this is naive and ignorant, and they don't even open up the book. They deserve to lose. You deserve to lose. You're naive, you're cocky, you're a little bit more confident than you should be. You don't even realize that the answers was just given to you. You have a test coming up and they gave you the answers. That's life. That's what this book is to me personally. We can think of it super religiously. We can get super spiritual if we want to. I'm all for it. And I do that every single Sunday. Don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, you are a fool to open up this book, see what God is saying, see what is being forecasted in the world, and not going about it the right way. And it's hard. Because what we're talking about is changing your heart. What we're talking about is changing your psyche. What we're talking about is deconstructing the way in which you view the world. Welcome to Heart Dumps with Maciano. So let's go to the next journal. I'm sorry. My journal is just be like, all right, let's see what else I wrote in here. I'm sorry, y'all. Any questions? Any questions? Talk to me. This was a poem that I wrote as I was hurt. I was very, very hurt, and I wrote a poem, and it's titled No Clue. It says, I wish I knew how to feel. I've rolled with the punches a long time and I'm truly tired of being hit. Is that selfish of me? No clue. Endless opportunities in front of me and you. I don't want to take from you nor you from me. So what could possibly the next step be? No clue. I think of you all the time. I hope you think of me. I keep your lips in my wallet. Do you of me? No clue. I wrote that poem in a very, very hurt stage. I felt like love was not being reciprocated, and that is what I wrote. So, yeah. Moving on. Okay, so this is good. This is good right here. Let me see. 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 Okay, so I got something right here. It's a heart dump. It says December. It doesn't have like the date to it, but it says December, and it says sin means to miss the mark. Bad aim behaviorally. So specify the target. Genesis 22:4 is a line that highlights the intimacy of worship. Intimacy is private and can be portrayed in a negative and incorrect light to those who aren't meant to be involved. On the outside looking in, Abraham on his way. I'm sorry. On the outside looking in, Abraham was on his way to do something crazy. Set his son on fire. Though, through the lens in which Abraham sees the world and with the heart he uses to love God, he was on his way to worship God. Keep intimacy private, especially intimacy with God. That's deep. Now that is deep. That is deep. Okay, that is deep. Cause think about it. Like, okay, so let's break that down. Let me kind of explain what I mean. Okay, so I don't want to botch the scripture and I don't want to botch the story, but essentially, Abraham had to sacrifice his son. The Lord told Abraham to sacrifice his son, right? And Abraham went to go do exactly that. That is exactly what Abraham went to go do, was to sacrifice his son. Now, let's say that day, right? And I do believe that there were some people who came and spoke to Abraham, but let's just say that day you were the person who was getting the chance to speak to Abraham before he went and did that. So Abraham is on his way to go do this thing that may be viewed as a malicious deed, but you have an opportunity to talk to him on his way, and you ask him like, "Hey, Abraham, like, what you finna go do? Like, you want to go get a plate? Like, what you on your way to go do? Like, you got 15 minutes?" And he responds to you and says he's about to go sacrifice his son. You're gonna look at Abraham and think that he's crazy, think that he's maniacal. God did not tell you to go do that, but God told him to go do that. And for me, the way that I see that is that intimacy with God and the conversations that you have with God and the things that God tells you to do are going to be insane to people who don't believe. They're going to be insane to people who don't go talk to God the same way you talk to God. They're going to be insane. And that's exactly why the intimacy that you have with God should be the intimacy that you have with God. It don't even need to be shared. The real conversations, the real nitty gritty of what your day to day, what you're picking up the cross every single day consists of, that is your business and God's business. And it is the future generations that are to come's business. That's what Psalms 145, like 4-7 says, is that we're supposed to teach the next generations about the amazing deeds and the miraculous things that God did. Like, that's our duty. That's our duty as believers. That's actually one of the things that I'm most excited for when I become a parent, is to be able to actually sit down a kid that is mine, that belongs to me, that I'm responsible for, that adores me, loves me, looks up to me, and is going through something and asks me a question about how I went about this in my life. And I get to respond and say, this is what God told me to do at that time. These are the type of things that God got me out of. These are the decisions that I made absent of God. These are the times where God was telling me exactly what to do, and I did what I wanted to do. Those are conversations that I look forward to, for sure. 100%. So with this, I feel like intimacy with God and intimacy as far as like what your day-to-day spiritual upward mobility looks like, keep it private, keep it intimate. Because at the end of the day, ain't nobody going to understand it except for you and God. Word. Word, word, word. Word. Okay. So yeah, we just gonna keep on going through the journal. How we enjoying it? Is this the first live from the Hooga? Not from the Hooga, I'm sorry. This is Heart Dumps with Maciano. New vibes, new vibes, new vibes. Okay. We all good? Let me check in with my brother Squill, see what he on. He probably not even on the line no more. You know he be selling me. Yeah, he's for sure selling me. Yeah, you're for sure selling me, ain't you? You selling me, be on it. You on the lie? Cap. Say that though. All right, brother. I was just checking in. See, he be lying, yo. All right, son. All right, brother. Reconvene after the lie. All right. Okay, let's continue on. Let's continue on. Okay, so that was Heart Dump. Okay, let's keep on going. Da, 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 da. Yeah, this is it's been a very it's been a ride. It's been a roller coaster of a year for me so far. So y'all gotta bear with me. You feel me? Okay, so this was actually here. So okay, so this one is gonna be deep. Okay, so this is gonna be deep. This is probably the direction that we're gonna go with the rest of this um live stream because this is actually like the closing thoughts that I had of this journal. These are the last 2 pages of the journal. And in this, I wrote this in a very depressed mindset. I wrote this in a very depressed state. I was not doing well when I wrote this. Okay? So I'm letting y'all know right now, I was not doing well when I wrote this. What I'm about to read, I was not doing well. But this is what it says. Okay? This is what it says. This is how I close this journal. It says, as we finalize this journal, I want to speak to my future self. Align on the mission. Allow it to anchor you, and all the things that happen outside of the mission will not disrupt your relationship with God and what He has for you. Okay? So this is the mission. I then outline what the mission will be. 1, grow in Christ. Life comes with many challenges, heartbreaks, and all around pain. No matter what, pick up your cross, pray, and trust God. Number 2, avoid idols. Let no person ever again dictate your livelihood. We've been shown our whole life that the people we love more than God will leave us alone regardless of our investment. No one is coming to save you. It's just you and God. Number 3, be decisive. You are a leader. You are going to influence more people than you have already. Make confident, Christ-driven decisions and stand firm. Be agile, but never be the guy who doesn't make precise decisions. Be confident. Number 4, no faking. Anything anyone sees should be a direct reflection of what is on the inside of you. Do not be like the Pharisees. Be like Christ. Clean everything inward first. Let the outward speak for itself. Number 5, if you say yes, do it. Be smart about what you agree to because you must vow to yourself that if you say yes, it is done. Be a man of your word. Number 6, don't fight for what's not fighting for you. Sometimes you will be a lot more invested into something than others. There is no friendship, relationship, job, etc. that you should be overextended for. Concede on everything that concedes on you. Number 7, be responsible. God has blessed you. Number 7, be responsible. God has blessed you with more than enough since birth. Live well below your means and do right with what you were given. Be smart. Handle your business before anything else. Everything else is secondary and unimportant. Number 8, keep your kids in heart. Psalms 144, 4-7 speaks about telling the generations to come about the Lord's mighty acts. Over your life, what stories will you have to tell your children? Don't create stories you will be ashamed of. This last, yeah. This last entry was written in depression. Things are not okay, but they will be. Onward and upward, no matter the circumstance. I will pick up my cross and keep on. May God lead me and align me forever and ever. Amen. That was the last one. And this will be going into my box for my biographer. Feel me? So maybe we should dig into that. Maybe we should we slow down a little bit? Should we slow down a little bit? Um, hey from Vegas. Hey, hey, hey. Let's start with growing Christ. Life comes with many challenges, heartbreaks, and all around pain. No matter what, pick up your cross, pray, and trust God. Something that I struggle with. Something that I struggle with. I feel like there's always been this spirit of. It's always been the spirit of. It's okay to feel, right? Which it is. It's okay to feel. It's okay to experience your emotions, but how long are you doing it? What is you experiencing your emotions slowing down in your life for real, for real? Because I catch myself being like, you know what? Today I'm going to experience my emotions. Then I also look back at that day that I was experiencing my emotions and I didn't eat. I didn't go work out. I didn't pray. I was just in my emotions with no movement, with no motion, with nothing except for my emotions. So regardless, you still got to trust God. You still got to pick up your cross. Number 2 says avoid idols. And I just spoke recently about idols. Like, that's real, bro. You can really catch yourself putting people above God. In my opinion, love is, okay, cool, I'm going to take the back seat for this person, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with taking the back seat for people that you love and being like, you know what? It's all of this food on the table. Y'all eat first. I'm going to eat after y'all. It's nothing wrong with that. But when you get to the point where you loving them more than God, like your faith is rooted in them. Like, you can't see anything forward if they're not involved. That's idolatry. You got to avoid that by all means necessary. And it's hard for me because me personally, I love very, very hard. I love hard. I love extremely hard. So me saying this is going to be one of them ones that I'm going to have to really, really pray on and really, really work on, because the moment I start loving you, I love you. And you got me in every aspect. So it's going to be really one of them ones. But I promise you, I'm not going through that again. I'm really not. Be decisive. Something that I struggle with. Knowing what I want, but not convincing myself that that's what I want for real, for real. So then that one kind of leads to what this one is on the next page, where it says, if you say yes, do it. So now it's like my decisiveness has to be followed by, okay, cool. Well, if you say yeah, now follow through with it. Be a man of your word. So if you do make a wrong decision, make the decision right by still going into it full speed, period. No faking. That's what the Pharisees was doing. The Pharisees was out here faking. The Pharisees was out here fancy, flashy, walking around, popping it, doing gestures out loud so they can be seen and they can be loved by the masses. But in reality, they was moving foul. They weren't good people for real, for real. They weren't righteous leaders. Don't be that. Whatever the outside shows up as, let that be the outside showing up as that. One area of my life where I can say that is something prevalent is that a lot of times, you feel me, my skin looks good. Like, a lot of times on my face, my skin be looking good, right? Sometimes it do, sometimes it don't, but my skin be looking good. I used to have really bad acne. Like, I used to have acne that broke out from like where my taper is all the way under my neck to the other side, but I don't have that problem anymore, right? And the reason why I can genuinely say I don't have that problem is, of course, yeah, the facial routine, whatever. Yeah, that's the outside, washing the outside. But I drink a lot of water. I don't eat greasy food like that no more. You feel me? I really, really put an emphasis on what is going inside of my body that makes it come out like this. And that's what the Pharisees were not doing. The Pharisees were showing up flashy. Everything on the outside was enough to get people to buy into what they had going on. But on the inside, they were filthy people. And Jesus recognized it. They couldn't pull them tricks with Jesus. They couldn't go in there and tax Jesus. They couldn't do that. Y'all got me in here preaching. Don't fight for what's not fighting for you. Do not fight for what is not fighting for you. If it ain't fighting for you, if it ain't showing up for you, if it ain't sitting in the mud with you, you don't need to sit in the mud with it. And that's facts. And that's also something that you can tie to idolatry is, Why are you sticking around for something that's not sticking around for you? Like, what's making you do that for real, for real? If God is making it clear that this is a person who is not doing anything for you, not feeding your soul, not pouring into you, then what is making you keep on overextending yourself? Keep your kids in heart and mind. Like I said, what type of stories do you want to tell your shorties for real, for real? Like, what type of conversations do you really want to have with your kids? Do you even want to? But let's take it even further, because this is something that I feel like I just didn't get to do. Is that, do you want an opportunity to be able to sit and pop it with your kids and talk to your kids for real, for real? That's actually a luxury that a lot of parents don't have. Because a lot of parents made so many different bad decisions in their life that when they have kids, they kids is growing up in a very uncomfortable circumstance. They're in an uncomfortable circumstance. Now they're hustling, grinding, trying to just make ends meet. So the teaching aspect, the preaching aspect, the provision aspect isn't even existent in the relationship. So the least you can do is do right, get ahead, take care of business now. So that way, when you bring kids into the world, the resources that they need, they have, and the time and the nurturing energy and all of the things that they need from like the actual parent and like the mentorship, you can be able to show up and give that for real. But you can't give that if you don't have stories where you actually learn something from, and you don't have decisions that you made that were the correct decisions. Because if all you do is make bad decisions, then you're going to end up in a bad position, and then that does not make you a qualified person to talk to. So that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do a little Q&A. I'm gonna do a little Q&A. Let's do a couple questions. Let's do a couple Q&As. School, you want to jump on here and do a Q&A, or are you straight? You know, that's where I'm at right now. Where did you start in the Bible? In all honesty, I don't remember. I watch a lot of podcasts, and now I'm a part of a church. Can I be honest? Yes, you can be honest. I would say if you wanted to like kind of get started in the Bible, go on the Bible app and start doing plans. Like, start doing Bible plans. Like, I do Bible plans every single day. Like, I do devotional in the morning. So I got I have like completed a lot of really good Bible plans. So I would say, like, if I were to recommend anything that you do, do Bible plans. And it's like on the app, it shows like, it's like tabs that says like healing, love, relationships, anxiety, depression, whatever the case may be, finances, everything. And you can click it, and then it gives you Bible plans, and then you can read it. And then like it just like you're reading Bible and you're reading devotionals attached to whatever it is that you clicked on. It's called the Bible app. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Listen, it's never too late. You can pick up the Bible right now and you can get rolling. At the end of the day, God wants you to come to Him. He wants you to come to Him. He wants you to stay with Him once you come, but you got to come first. So that's where we at. That's where we at, y'all. But with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed the live today. I love you all so much. I'm going to be posting this on YouTube. I'm going to be doing this more. I appreciate y'all bearing with me and sticking with me, and onward and upward always. More everything, more everything, more everything, more everything. Thank you all for joining. Thank you all so much for joining. And I love you all very dearly. And we'll talk soon. We'll talk soon. We'll talk very soon. Okay? Cool. Peace.